Hello and welcome to today's episode of Filling the Gap, your one-stop shop for Pacers Gap Year coverage. I'm your host, Andrew Schreiner, and today we are going to look at some of the biggest questions still facing the Pacers as they approach the regular season. Well, the biggest one, the most obvious one, what are they going to look like without Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner? Both ends of the floor. On the offensive end, the biggest question is about pace. Okay, Tyrese, what he brings with the offense, pushing the pace without turning the ball over, is going to be missed. His ability to facilitate the offense is unique. It's what makes him a superstar in the NBA. And as Nembhard steps into that point guard role, and Mathurin steps into the starting lineup, and Pascal Siakam becomes the primary option. Those players may prefer a slower game, especially Siakam and Mathurin. I think they have the ability to score in isolation basketball a little bit more than some of the other players on the team. And without Tyrese pushing the pace, sending the ball around, working to get open shots, will we see the pace that was so lethal for the Pacers in their magical playoff run last year slow down? Then on the defensive end, Miles Turner being gone leaves a big hole at the rim. And we've seen this already in preseason, especially in that game against San Antonio. Guys are running to the rim and they're not meeting a lot of resistance there. We'll hope that that is not the case come regular season. But Jay Huff or Isaiah Jackson, whoever ends up in the starting center role, which we'll talk about in a minute, they need to be able to solidify the paint and protect the rim. Now, the defense might be a little better on the perimeter, actually, and they're going to need to be better on the perimeter. Just as a one-on-one defender, as Mathurin slots into the starting lineup with Tyrese being gone, you look at that and you say, okay, they might be better on the perimeter with Nembhard, Mathurin, and Nesmith guarding out on the three-point line. And they're going to need to be to keep guys from getting to the rim without Miles back there to protect. The second biggest question is going to be sort of related. How is Nembhard going to perform as the starting point guard? If they want to push the pace like they have, and all indications are in preseason that they're going to continue to play that style of basketball, can he do it? Can he do it the same way, or at least approximating the same way that Tyrese does? I'm not so sure, but we'll see. I think he definitely has the capability to grow into that role, but it may take some time. And then the flip side of that is, as he's taking a larger role offensively, will that limit his defensive contributions? Most nights last season, he was guarding the top matchup. We saw that in the playoffs as well. And will he be able to do both? I doubt that he'll be able to be the primary ball handler and pick up the toughest matchup on a night in, night out basis. And so either someone's going to need to take some of the ball handling responsibility, or Nesmith or Mathurin are going to need to step up and take the top assignment on the defensive end. Third major question is who's going to fill that center spot. So is it going to be Isaiah Jackson? Is it going to be Jay Huff? I think all indications suggest to me that Isaiah Jackson will start opening night. So the question really is, who's going to be the starting center by the end of the season? My gut tells me that will be Jay Huff, but it's hard to tell. And then whoever it ends up being, the question is, can they play well enough to make themselves a starter next year? Or I don't see that being very likely. So more likely, can they make themselves a valuable trade piece so the Pacers can acquire a championship level replacement? They're going to be looking for that Miles Turner replacement next offseason as Tyrese comes back from his injury. They gear up for another hopeful finals run. And I think Jay Huff looks like the best candidate for that. He has a really attractive contract, and if he can space the floor, show some rim protection, I think someone would be willing to take him in and send out a star-level player, if they're receiving something else in addition to Jay Huff. And the Pacers are going to be relying on that, really, as they look to build a championship caliber team heading into next season. And then the final major question is about Bennedict Mathurin. How well is he going to play with being a full season starter? He actually started quite a few games last year due to injuries, and so he's familiar with the starting role. But with a full season of it, is he going to step up his production? And then the follow-up question to that is, will he play himself out of a Pacers uniform next year? He's entering restricted free agency this offseason. And we saw the saga play out with players like Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga this past offseason. Giddey ended up receiving a 4-year, $100 million contract. Kuminga, 2 years, $48.5 million. And so if Bennedict Mathurin plays really well and he plays himself into $25 million a year, I think that is going to be too high of a price for the Pacers to pay for a non-starter for them next season. And so will we see him play his way out of a Pacers uniform? I think it's very possible. It would be sad to see, but the cap math may just dictate that Mathurin needs to play somewhere else next season. So those are the things I'm looking for as the season starts in about a week. Thanks for watching today's episode. I'll be back later in the week on Friday to cover the Pacers' final preseason matchup with San Antonio before we have a few episodes next week before the regular season gets started, where I can go over some of my season predictions and other things I'm watching for as the season gets underway. So please like this video, subscribe for the next ones, and share with your Pacer fan friends. We'll see you next time.